Okay, welcome back to Random City Sports Ballers. Got another draft coming up in just a minute. I found out in the waiting room. I looked up here and I am pick number 2. So I went and got a mock draft. I've got about 25 minutes, 24 until it starts, and this draft starts in about 30 seconds. So I've got a good 20 minutes to see. That should get me through at least 10 rounds of a mock draft. So I'll get good practice before my draft coming up over here with the second pick. This is a good idea to do with your drafts since you've got a half hour between opening up the draft board to see where you're at and the draft beginning. Use that 30 minutes to do a mock draft from that position. That way you know what players are typically, not always, but typically going to be available to you. All right, fellas, I'll be back when the regular draft comes in. All right, we're back, and we're 7 seconds away from getting this draft underway. I did my mock draft. It went well. I saw a lot of things going on. Wide receiver was an interesting one. We're going to go ahead and take Robinson first here to make sure I've got a solid running back. But wide receiver was an interesting one. There are some very quality options in the second and third round, and some more running backs that you can pick from as well, even up to round 5 or 6. But Jahmyr Gibbs went first, Robinson second, McCaffrey was third, and Jamar Chase, first wide receiver, is pick 4. And there went Puka Nacua with the number 5. Jonathan Taylor, number 6. And, yeah, dude, I saw a lot of good things coming up down here. I ended up with Nico Collins. Smith and Jigba went number 7. I ended up with Nico Collins and Drake London, which, that actually was not really intentional. I'm not in love with Drake London. I just don't see it. I haven't seen the top wide receiver production out of him. But, I mean, I'm probably wrong. CeeDee Lamb went number 8. But yeah, like I said, I might be wrong. Could be totally wrong. Don't ignore me on Drake London. If you listened to me on Kyle Pitts last year, well, actually, you could have picked him up off waivers because I don't think anybody was drafting Kyle Pitts last year. So, that's not even on me. If you didn't draft Kyle Pitts last year, you were just like everybody else. What a surprising season out of that fella, right? After all these years of I don't know. Was he at average, below average? I don't know. It just wasn't many points there for fantasy football purposes. And that's what we're playing here. We're not doing something. We're playing fantasy football. We need points and stats. And Kyle Pitts did that for the first time in his career. Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 9. History's any indicator. We'll see James Cook, and man, he could do a Cook and Barkley, Genty, Walker, Justin Jefferson, which, I saw someone say, okay, Kyler Murray is, okay, so he did take James Cook. Kyler Murray is going to right the ship with Justin Jefferson. Okay, maybe? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I have question marks on that one, but it's Justin Jefferson, fellas. I mean, the future Hall of Famer is going, this might be with the 11th pick, but he's going at the top of the second round all the time. So, yep, there he goes. Yeah, that's a good start to draft James Cook and Justin Jefferson. That's a fine start. Those back-to-back picks, that's so nice to have those. And seriously, what is up with Drake London? There goes Chase Brown, number 12. He put up 167 points last year. Okay, yeah. Penix might come back. Tua could be I don't know. I don't know who's going to be his quarterback, but what's changing? What is different? I just don't know. I don't know what to say here. Okay. I have a rough time with that pick. Saquon Barkley, number 13. I'm going to let someone else have Drake London. I understand it could be a big year for him, but yeah, it's a risk. It's a lot of risk. A.J. Brown's sitting right there. That's a lot less risk. Walker goes with number 14. Excuse me. Walker. That's the switch from Seattle to Kansas City. Wow. How will that do for him? I mean, was Isaiah Pacheco the problem there? There goes Devin Achane with number 15. That's a nice late pickup on Achane. I've seen him go in the first round. And I have a lot of faith in Achane. I'm sure you guys all understand. You've seen a couple seasons out of him. We know what to do. There's Genty. Another little bit of a risk, but I don't think it's as big a risk as Drake London. Omarion Hampton with number 17. And Drake London went with number 18. So it's my pick here. And look, Nico Collins is here. Derrick Henry is here, a year older. Pickens, A.J. Brown. And so I've got a pick here. Who do I think puts up the bigger numbers for the season? Because my next pick will come back around pretty soon. So now I'm down. I'm thinking between Pickens, Brown, and Collins. Okay, I'm narrowing it down to Brown and Collins. I think I'm going to take A.J. Brown again. I have one instance of A.J. Brown from my first draft. And, well, let's do it again. Let's try it out again. And I don't care that this whatever AI is giving that a B-. That is just so weird how they're grading these picks like this while you're picking. And if anybody cared about that, wouldn't it be nice if they just put it right here and you could go, oh, the AI thinks I should pick here. Don't let AI do your draft for you. Please, for the love of all that is holy, do not let AI do your draft. I think I'm going to take another receiver here. Maybe Collins gets back to me. That'd be nice. Collins or Pickens. All right, 3-putt king. I'm assuming you're a golfer. Got a little picture of him golfing right there in his corner. It was Derrick Henry with pick number 20. And you're back-to-back, Mr. 3-putt king. I mean, it's actually kind of a joke because you don't want a 3-putt. That's actually not good. Okay, so he took Nico Collins, and I'm genuinely, thinking Pickens is a possibility. Okay, well, you know what? I have, how many Pickens do I have? This would be my third Pickens. I have to do someone else, fellas. I have to do someone else. What's going on with Devonta Smith? Hamstring. All right, well, whatever. Hamstring means I'm not drafting him because injury like that will linger. Okay, so Rashee Rice, Olave, Kyren Williams. That's not a bad idea. I could take some Kyren Williams. Do I take Corum later? Maybe I do. I'm going to take Kyren Williams. There, so we've got 2 running backs and 1 wide receiver. The only thing that kept me from taking Pickens was the fact that I've drafted it on both of my other teams, and I don't want too many instances of one player. So now we wait, 14 more picks to get back to me, and we'll be down here in some other wide receivers that, I like Ibuka right here. But there's other wide receivers that I can get my hands on later and make sure that I don't screw up any more buys like I did with Williams, and all 3 of these guys have the same bye week. Okay? So this is fixable. This is easily fixed. So, all right, we'll be back in 14 picks. Guys, I think you just saw that. I made the move quickly because I can't believe Olave was sitting there for me. Chris Olave became my 4th pick. Oh my. that shouldn't have happened. So I'm quite happy with my receivers and my running backs now. A.J. Brown, Chris Olave, and Bijan Robinson, Kyren Williams. Oh boy, guys. That should never happen. Malik Neighbors, because, you know, the injury problem, that makes sense for him to come back, but not Olave. So this team just became pretty darn solid. I'm quite happy with that. And there goes Lamar Jackson, first of the back-to-backs, and then McMillan with his second of his back-to-backs. So now I can take, either Scatterboo or Travis Etienne and put them on my bench. What's going on with Scatterboo? Exited practice, nothing serious at all. And he was stretching out a hamstring, so I don't know. But I like Etienne in New Orleans. What else we got? Swift, Devontae Adams, Judkins. I cannot take another Week 11 bye guy, though. I've got to avoid him. But I could take another Week 8. I also like Emeka Egbuka. That's not a bad pickup. I mean, he had a fine year last year, so Egbuka, he put up 164 points on the season. But I'm going to go ahead and grab Etienne. And that way I've got 3 solid running backs in my starting lineup. 2 pretty darn good wide receivers, and A.J. Brown or Chris Olave. A.J. Brown could really, really put up points this year with Drake May at quarterback. I mean, guys, I'm in love with how this is going so far. All right, I'll see you back in 15 picks. That's my pick, and DJ Moore just went right after Trevion Henderson. Now, here's my plan. I'm going to take Drake May next round, because this guy 3-Putt King took Lamar Jackson, so he's not going to take another quarterback. So I can take whoever I think is going to be appropriate in this spot. So I'm looking at some wide receivers, and being a Detroit guy, I like Jameson Williams. He's inconsistent. I will say that. He's inconsistent. You know, but he's also my first bench player. So I'm not looking for someone who's going to give me every week. He's a bench player. But his bye week lines up for that little mistake I've made over here. So let's get that. Boom, Jameson Williams, and then we'll get Drake May on the way back around. This draft is going well. Very happy with it. And 3-Putt King. I kind of played into what you are needing here. You need any wide receiver, running back, tight end, and you might take a tight end. I don't know. But thank you for taking a quarterback already. That gave me that option to take a wide receiver. And like I said, I like Jameson Williams. I really do. And Drake May, boy, this is my second time having Drake May as my quarterback. Guys, don't be afraid if you don't get one of the top quarterbacks. Take a look at what's still available here after 6 rounds. May, Burrow, Herbert, Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott. You could take a chance on Dart. I mean, there's a lot of options out there, fellas. He took Marvin Harrison with his first of his back-to-back picks. Marvin Harrison Jr. Make sure to quantify that with the, it's not the old fella that's a Hall of Famer. It's the young fella. And who's your second one going to be? I'm thinking a running back or a tight end. Let's see what you do, 3-Putt King. I mean, a person would be foolish to have 2 quarterbacks at this stage of the draft, right? That's just too early. That's just too early. And so this next pick for me, this is going to be, look, boom, let's just get it out of the way. Drake May is now my quarterback, so this is coming along nice. Got the May and Brown connection. Olave, who should not have gotten to me. Robinson, Kyren Williams are my top running backs, and then I still have Travis Etienne here for a wide receiver, running back, tight end flex play. And then Jameson Williams becomes my first bench player. Wow, this is going well, fellas. And just to make sure, tight ends are still plentiful. Laporta, Fannin, Pitts, Kittle, Kincaid, Kelsey, Goddard. I would avoid, someone, but Ferguson is even going to be there very late. So there's still plenty of time for me to do that as well. All right, I'll be back in 15 picks. Okay, that puts me up. I'm taking a look at 3-Putt King to see what he still needs, and one of those is tight end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up a tight end. I think we're going to take Fannin right here. Boom, and then when it gets back to me, I've got the options. Because, I have now filled in my starting lineup, and now everything is bench. I've got 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and everything I do here is just gravy. So I'm looking at Thomas here, Brian Thomas Jr. from Jacksonville, as a potential, let's put him on the bench and see what he does. Possibly Hubbard. We know what Hubbard does. It's not sexy. He's a good running back, though. He gets the points. What did he put up last year? It was 110 in his limited amount when he got the calf injury. And, Rico Dowdle proved. But, that is an injury guy there, I think. Let's take a look at it in that aspect. Is he an injury guy? Maybe so. I could take a backup quarterback, but I think I'm going to not do that and instead fill up on these other important bench positions. There's a lot of guys I can choose from. I like Michael Wilson, so maybe I should take Hubbard. Because if I take Thomas, then I'm leaving myself limits on what my wide receivers later can do. I've got Wilson and possibly even Deebo Samuel later, right? So maybe I do take Chuba Hubbard right here. Let's go ahead and take Hubbard. Because, guys, he puts up great numbers when he's on the field. He does. Just amazing, right? All right, let's see you back in 16 picks. Well, we'll be on my pick momentarily. But while I'm thinking about that, I'm considering, because I know some guys later on that I can grab for backups at running back and wide receiver, like Deebo Samuel. I might grab Tyrone Tracy in case of a Cam Scatabo injury because he plays hard. And Tyrone Tracy will be pretty solid anytime that he's got the position. But I'm thinking about going with backup quarterback in Trevor Lawrence and backup tight end in Travis Kelce. Kincaid is still here, but I think Travis Kelce is a better bet, if I'm being honest. But let's go ahead and let's see. I should take, what does 3-Putt King have? Does he have a tight end yet? He still doesn't have a tight end. So we're going to grab our tight end first. We'll grab Travis Kelce. And, well, there you go, buddy. Take your tight end this time, 3-Putt King. So, yeah, that actually is going to work out great for me. I've got my backup tight end. I have fixed most of my bye week issue. I'm not worried about this now. I have 2 running backs that'll fill in for these 2, and I've got a wide receiver that can fill in right here. So we're fine everywhere. But now, then we'll take, on the way back, Trevor Lawrence, unless he takes a backup quarterback, at which point there are other quarterbacks for backing up, we can go Matt Stafford, he was amazing last year, right? What are his numbers he put up last year? 358 points on 4,707 yards, 46 touchdowns. Lord almighty. Whew, what a year. There's Jared Goff, who's always a top 10 quarterback. So there are options for me to back up quarterback here. I just got to make sure it's not week 11. And that means no Matthew Stafford, no Jordan Love, and no Sam Darnold. So, those guys being off the table makes Trevor Lawrence look pretty good as a backup. I've only got 3 more bench players. And if I do Tyrone Tracy and Deebo Samuel, then doesn't that take care of all of that? So let's go ahead and take Trevor Lawrence. Now we've got everything about our bye weeks is looking pretty good, fellas. I have good options everywhere. Okay, So we'll see you back in 16 picks when I might be looking at a defense because I can take defense and then Deebo Samuel. All right, fellas. Like I said, 16 picks, 15 now. We'll see you back here. We're back to me, fellas. And, okay. This is an interesting position I'm in because I know the guys that I want to take for the the final 2 rounds. Okay, my final 2 rounds, I would like it to be Deebo Samuel and Tyrone Tracy, which means I can take a kicker and a defense right now. Now the defenses, they're not exciting, right? They're just not exciting. Just take a look at it. Who would have been the best last year? Would have been the Jaguars, even, because people are taking their defenses. But who are the kickers? We got Myers from Seattle, so I'll take another Myers from Seattle. And then on the next round back, I'm taking a defense. I don't know, maybe the Vikings, but the Jaguars, I don't hate the idea of having them either. And with your defense, guys, your defense, it needs to be fluid throughout the season. If you've overinvested in defense, and took a 10th round defense, you're going to end up upset with yourself. So we're looking over here. We're happy with our starting lineup, and we're happy that our bench has cleared up any bye week issues we have. We take a look at my queue, which has got bye week for number 8 for Deebo Samuel, so that's not really going to hurt a whole lot. I mean, I've got one guy on week 8 right now. But this is all looking fine here, fellas. Wish I had more receivers, but, this is all looking good. This is all looking very good. All looking very good. So we'll come back to me in just a second, and I'll take either the Jaguars or Minnesota. Not sure which one. I could also take the Patriots, I suppose, but there's nothing real exciting down here. You're just going to be very likely streaming defenses. Just grab one that you think, who's got the first week opponent that you want to play against. Stuff like that. So just be on your defense. Don't overinvest. Do not overinvest. And don't overinvest in kicker and go taking one of those in round 10 or 9 or some crap. Okay, so Jaguars or Vikings or Patriots or Steelers or Ravens. Probably not the Ravens. All right, let's go Jaguars. We'll take the Jaguars. There, and then my final 2 picks will be Deebo Samuel and Tyrone Tracy. That's going to be fine. That's just, and what have we got for wide receivers other than that, though? Jacoby Myers, Golden. I don't hate the idea of Golden. I could take 2 wide receivers here. I could take Dobbs. I could take Wan'Dale Robinson. These are all fine. I could take all of that with Deebo Samuel. So, all right. So after my pick went Rachaad White, and we'll be back in 15 picks. Hey, well, Deebo Samuel just went ahead of me. So we're looking at someone else, and Xavier Worthy is looking like he's going to be injured again. But anyways, I don't hate Romeo Doubs in New England. As far as running backs go, Tyrone Tracy is still here, but so are some others. Tyler Algier, how much ball control will he have? There's a lot of options for me here, fellas. Okay, so let's start out with, let's go back to wide receivers. And I'm going to take Romeo Doubs. And then, on the way back, we'll take a running back, which might be Algier, Q, Tank Bigsby. There's Isaiah Pacheco, and I absolutely love Detroit, so get off my back. So what if I love Detroit? It's okay to love Detroit. They're not terrible anymore. Did someone take Tyrone Tracy? Well, that's weird. I'm going to search for that. I'm going to search. But anyhow, it's my pick next. And I think I'll go with Algier right here. And then that'll be the end of my draft, and we'll come back and talk about it once it's all in the past. Hurry up, take your second pick there, Pig Putt King. Take your second pick. Someone took Tyrone Tracy. Shame upon you. Oh, yeah, there it was. Pick number 137. 137. Herp derp. Well, that's what I get for taking a defense and kicker early, isn't it? Come on, 3-putt king. 7 seconds left. You're using every second available to you for your final pick. The Vikings defense. All right, let's take Tyler Algier. Okay, our draft is done. We got starting quarterback Drake May, wide receivers A.J. Brown and Chris Olave, running backs Bijan Robinson, Kyron Williams, tight end Fannin, flex Travis Etienne, kicker Myers from Seattle, defense the Jaguars, first bench Jameson Williams, wide receiver from Detroit, then Chuba Hubbard, running back from Carolina, Travis Kelce, the legend Travis Kelce from Kansas City, Trevor Lawrence as a backup quarterback, Romeo Doubs, and Tyler Algier. Fellas, I'm so happy with this team. It's just silly. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.